ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. Reading Rabbi Norman Lamb, who was the chancellor of Yeshiva University for many years, was the president. Rabbi Lamb writes the following, that Chanukah has to come out at least one Shabbat, because it's 8 days, so it must have at least one Shabbat. Sometimes it can even have 2 Shabbatot. So at the end of Shabbat, you may have to light the Chanukah menorah. So what do? What do you light first? Do you first say Havdalah with a light, or do you light the Chanukah menorah first? Well, our rabbis were divided, because one set said, Tadir Kodem. If you have something that has greater frequency against something that happens once in a while, the one that has greater frequency you do first. Well, Saturday night we do Havdalah 52 times out of the year. You know, the Gregorian year and the Jewish year, sometimes you have even more than that. But Chanukah is only once a year. So therefore you should first make Havdalah. But others said something else. Why do you light the menorah? You light the menorah because of Pirsumei Denisa. You want everybody to know what happened, and that takes over. In other words, to advise everybody, not your Havdalah individually, but to everybody should see, those that pass by your house should know that something happened, that should take precedence. So what did our sages do? You know, our sages were sages because they were very smart. They said the following, you know, in the synagogue, you first light the menorah. But if you are saying that prayer at home, and it's the end of Shabbat, you say Arvit, and afterwards you make Havdalah, and then you first light the menorah. In other words, they said in the synagogue, do one way and another way at home. Why did they do that? Well, I really don't know. But in any event, there was a problem. What is more important? What you do every day or the extraordinary? You know, there are many people that study Torah, are very good students, and they know a lot. You know, every year they learn a little more. But the Gaon of Vilna, there's something called Ilui, like an illuminated person, you know, that is a genius, that is extraordinary. You know, the mind of Maimonides, the Rambam, that's a mind that is so rare, so unusual. You know, the Talmud is very extensive. And you find laws in the Talmud, discussions in the Talmud in different places, because they go on a tangent, they speak about one thing, then they go speak about another thing. Maimonides went and took the entire Talmud and codified it. You know, put it in order. You had to have an extraordinary memory, a photographic memory, capacity of organization, unusual. Well, he is a rarity in the Jewish people. You know, there was an Einstein, you know, who suddenly gave you a different understanding of the world, of the universe. Space is curved. You thought that time is eternal, that there's a clock regardless of where you are. You can be in Rome, you can be in Paris, you can be in the moon, you can be in another constellation. There's a clock, a universal clock that is ticking there. He said, no. The time and space are somehow related, and I don't want to get into that I don't understand very well. But he is telling us that time is also relative. There is no universal clock. So Einsteins are very rare individuals in this world. I had a teacher whom I have mentioned already many a time. His name was Yosef Dova Levi Soloveitchik. He was the teacher of hundreds of thousands of people. He was an unusual mind. Yet, today, many of his disciples are extraordinarily learned men, exemplary, you know, manage the Talmud from place to place. So what are we to say? Who is more important? Is the mind that is exceptional, or maybe it is the one that does his work every day? Well, obviously we can argue we need both. We need both. In other words, we needed God to do a miracle with the oil in Chanukah, that the crucible, instead of lasting 1 day, lasted for 8 days. But we shouldn't forget maybe the priest that put away that crucible of oil that was necessary in order to do a miracle. Because our rabbis say, you know, a miracle doesn't happen in empty space. It has to happen with something occurring. I always thought, why did we need the oil at all? Couldn't God have simply lit the menorah and that's it? And then you go prepare oil. Why did we need a little oil? If there were so many miracles involved, God could have made that miracle as well. But as I say, a miracle doesn't happen without human participation also. You know, God gave us 2 tablets of the law that were destroyed by Moshe Rabbeinu. The second tablets were not destroyed. They disappeared somehow, but were not destroyed. You know why some say? Because in the second case, God told Moses, go and elaborate tablets of stone. Man participated as well. So we need 2 things. We need those who are constant, and we need the geniuses. We need those that do their daily labor. And we also need those that are exceptionally inspired. I don't know where you belong, if you are exceptional or not, but if you're doing your daily job, you go to work, you study, you're a good father, you have a family, you're doing a great job. Because with geniuses alone, this world couldn't exist. We need those that do their everyday work, and if you're one of them, be proud of it.